Hi, it's Gloria Donahue from Nana's Cookery, and welcome back to the kitchen. We're trying to do a lot today because I haven't done anything for a long time. I thank you so much for keeping in touch with me and asking how we all are and how we're doing. And right now we're doing pretty well. My husband seems to be fairly stable. He's going to try to go to do some outpatient therapy, and we're very hopeful. But remember, make all the plans you want. But remember, life is going to happen anyway. This is something that we really love. It's called a stuffed pepper soup. Years ago, I made stuffed peppers for my husband, and I used green peppers, and I never ate the pepper. I only ate the filling, which was basically rice, tomato, and ground beef. And I switched to colored peppers. They are more expensive, there's no question about it. I love the color they give to a dish, and I love the fact that they don't take over the dish like I think a green pepper does. When green pepper's in a dish, to me, that's practically all I taste. This recipe is going to be ground beef that we're going to saute. And then we're going to add tomato sauce. We're going to add diced tomatoes. We're going to add peppers. We're going to add rice, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. That's kind of funny. Bouillon, salt and pepper, water, and a little brown sugar. The first thing we're going to do is ground the beef. I am going to drop it into a pan that's over medium heat, and I'm going to drop it off in small pieces. Now, when you're doing stew or bigger pieces of meat, you can sort of walk away and do other things and come back every once in a while and turn. But when you are browning ground meat, it has a tendency to get into bigger pieces, almost like little hamburgers, which is probably not what you want in your dish. So it's a good idea to keep going over and breaking it up, and so that now it won't be this small when you're done, but you'll get it into manageable things if you keep at it. You can do it with the side of a fork, or just decide whatever works well for you, but you can't just put hamburger in and then just walk away, or you'll come back to a great big beef pancake. So that's what I'm going to do it in now. I've already started I have a heavy Dutch oven, and I have that heating, and I'm going to drop this in small pieces, and then I'm going to try to keep it small. Be back shortly. Hi, our meat, it says do it until it's no longer pink. Now, when I put that meat in, usually the rule for sauteing meat is make sure it goes on the bottom, because you want to get a nice brown crust on it. But this, where I just wanted to lose its color, lose its pink, I didn't mind putting more in the pan instead of doing it with 2 or 3 loads, and then just turning it and moving it. Now, if there's a lot of fat when you're done, it said drain it, but actually there really isn't any fat here. I'm not going to drain the meat. And I'm going to add the other ingredients. This is a quart of water with 1 teaspoon of a beef bouillon. And as I've mentioned, my husband is on a lower salt diet. So I try to buy most things, if I can, lower sodium, and then an individual can adjust what they need. So I like this for bouillon. I don't buy the cubes anymore. I buy the Better Than Bouillon, lower sodium, both the chicken and the beef, and that works for me. And you dissolve it in water like any other, like you would for a cube. This is 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, a half teaspoon of pepper, and a teaspoon of salt. This is a cup of rice, and it's cooked rice. This is cooked rice. And you may have seen this sitting here in an odd shape. Well, that's one of the things I discovered. I could make rice, more rice than I need for a meal, whether I'm cooking it in water or bouillon. And I found that for an individual serving, we're about a half a cup. So I took a half cup measure, and I packed the cooked rice into it, and then put it on a parchment-lined pan, and it takes the shape of the cup because there's some moistness in that rice, and freeze it, and then put it in a bag. So it was very easy for me to reach into a bag and just take out 2 of those, and I know it's a cup of cooked rice, and that's what I need. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to put that in there. I use 2 different peppers, and I have a little left over that I'm going to put in the freezer that we can use with potatoes or something else. I like the idea of having the 2 different colors, but you certainly don't have to. And 1 really big pepper would probably be enough. It's a cup. It's a cup of the chopped pepper, and I have orange and yellow. It is a 14-ounce can of tomato sauce, and again, I did it with no salt added. You wouldn't have that restriction probably. We add that. and a can of the diced tomatoes, again with me, lower sodium, with the juices. Just pour the whole thing in. You can see how easy this is. And then just add the water with the bouillon. And if that's not all dissolved, don't worry, it will. And then the brown sugar and the salt and the pepper. And this cooks for about 45 minutes. Well, I went to get in a spoon, folks, and got a fork, but that still works. This will cook about 45 minutes. I made it for the first time about a month or so ago, and we both really loved it. It freezes so well. And for us, that's a full dinner. Some nice bread, and this because you've got your meat, you've got your peppers, you've got your rice, you've got your tomato. So it really makes a great meal. We're gonna put it on the stove and cook it for 45 minutes. Our stuffed pepper soup is all ready to eat. I hope your family will enjoy it as much as we'll enjoy it. And I thank you again for coming to the kitchen. It's been a real treat. Bye-bye.